everyone, and welcome to another special edition of Comment Section. That's right. So, what we have here is we're counting down our best and worst of 2017. So,
all right. Do you have a top 10 or a top 5? What are we doing?
I had a top 5 plus special shout out. So,
all right.
If you want to
I
go,
could just quick list like the 5 or something.
Yeah, let's do your 5. Or
right.
should I do my worst first?
Yeah, let's start with the downers so we can end on a good note.
Yeah. So here we go. All right.
Because I don't feel like I really had like a worst movie.
I mean,
personally.
I only had 4 movies I didn't like. One was because I thought it ruined a franchise. Like, maybe if I just... And I guess a lot of people view it as an Elseworld story, where it's not connected.
Yeah.
Like, the one I'm talking about is Logan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
you genuinely didn't like it, or is it just disappointing because it...
I just felt like... Not only... It felt like the previous movies meant nothing, because it's just like, what was the point of all this if they're all just dead? And it also felt like Wolverine had no character development. Like, first movie is him trying to protect a girl and being reluctant, and here we are again 30 years later, and he's trying to protect a girl and feeling reluctant. It's like, what did you learn, jerk? And so that's how it felt for me. More like this was just created just to be rated R in setting up the Laura? What? What's the girl's name? Laura, right?
I think so.
It felt like it was saying that the Laura sequel that's never going to happen.
Yeah. I did like it, but it appears nowhere on my lists. So
okay, here we go. I hope this is yeah.
Yeah,
it looks a little quiet, but
yeah, I can turn it up a little.
I mean, yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
But you be the expert on the audio. So here we go for my worst 3 of the year. And did you really have any movies this year you didn't like, or?
Nothing major that I went into and I was super disappointed by and ended up not liking. I've seen like some really crappy, like when I was looking for worst movies, none of them, ones I've seen this year, none of them came out this year.
Okay.
So I don't have anything.
Would you probably know more like a year from now after you've caught up on like Blu-ray and all that?
Yeah, because like I've said in a previous thing, sometimes I just block out ones I don't like sometimes.
I wish I could. I try to.
Nothing major has been an enormous disappointment. So there's nothing that I could remember because of that.
All right. Got 2 controversial ones and one that you know. Well, this one of them's not controversial, but we all know what one of them's going to be. So, number 3.
All right.
The 3rd worst movie of the year, in my opinion. And I hate saying this so much.
Okay.
Like, no one walks into a movie hoping for it to be bad.
Of course.
You walk into it hoping that, man, I love this franchise. Let's have a great one. And when you feel that it does a bad job of showing who these characters are and what makes this franchise so great, it breaks you inside. And so, sadly, never thought I'd say this, but my number 3 worst movie of the year is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
It's only number 3.
Only number 3.
If you want to,
you would have thought it would higher.
We should actually. We could actually probably just leave it at this since we have a long list. But you talked a lot about it already. So if you want, you could listen to the previous episode to hear a lot about it. You could say something a little.
I'll just say, real quick. My biggest problem is the stupid Iron Man suit. I hate it. It felt... That's not Spider-Man, that's Iron Man Jr.
And I'll say that was also my biggest problem. It didn't weigh on me as much as you, and I liked the movie a lot.
And even then, I was mad about how he gets it again at the end. Mm-hmm. So it felt like we're building up this arc of how he doesn't need the suit, but yet he still gets it in the end anyway. So,
yeah.
I hated how it tried to be funny first, and like Spider-Man for me is a drama with comedy. Like, what makes the comedy great is Spider-Man, like, just, like, messing around with the villains. Like, it's not supposed to be constantly joke. And, like, one of the standout scenes for me is how he, instead of web swinging, he drives in Flash's car. And I don't know if you remember. Did you remember the scene about how the teacher's talking about we couldn't lose another student again?
Oh,
that
yeah,
scene
yeah.
took me out.
I think, yeah, it really is, like, I definitely agree. It really is like a comedy first. It's just, do you care that that's the thing? Because I totally agree with that.
Also, I hate Ned. I
Yeah.
hope he gets killed off. Please, Goblin, I know you killed Gwen. Let's help Spider-Man this time.
The next Spider-Man movie is going to be the Logan of the Spider-Man.
Yes. In a perfect world, I would hope that Peter moves away to a different Aunt May.
It's called Peter.
Yes. and he's just like sad all the time,
Yeah.
just like, oh man, I really screwed up, guys.
Yep.
And hopefully, don't like Michelle. I didn't think she was funny at all. It felt like they were trying to be funny, but it didn't work. Hated the stupid Easter egg showing that one important character doesn't exist. Liz Allen constantly giving Peter chances, even though he constantly is whatever. Flash was horrible. That's not Flash. When you make Flash smart, he's not Flash. There you go. Also, Aunt May, stop it.
Yeah.
People are not supposed to hit on Aunt May when Uncle Ben's been dead for a year.
Yeah, and yeah, plenty of this in episode 12. And just in case people want to leave again, the there's going to be only positiveness, hopefully, later in this episode. So
Yes. Also, I feel like I gotta say this because sometimes people think Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man.
yeah,
I think him and Michael Keaton were so amazing in their roles. Michael Keaton, I was worried that I would see him as Batman because he's my live-action Batman.
I completely almost didn't realize it was him. I knew he was in it, but I was just like, oh yeah, it's Michael Keaton.
I was a little worried that I start rooting for him because I'm like, get him, Batman. But
yeah.
he was
It's
great.
interesting. Sorry, I was just thinking about. I actually liked that he almost wasn't that bad. Like he almost kind of redeemed himself in the scene. By the way, probably lots of spoilers in this episode, so skip the part if it's something you don't want spoiled. But when he meets a Scorpion at the very end, he doesn't reveal.
Yeah.
I liked that part personally.
Yeah, I really wish it felt like Spider-Man vs. Vulture was only like, it felt, maybe just felt this way to me. It felt like it was only like the last third. And then
It was the last act, but-
the first 2/3 are just the hilarious hijinks Spider-Man gets in.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I think Tom Holland's a great Spider-Man. I feel like I gotta say this because, when I talk about people are just like, well, what do you think about Tom Holland? Like, so afraid.
Yeah.
Like, he was great in Civil War. I thought he was great in this movie. I felt he elevated the movie in his scenes, just like Michael Keaton did. And Robert Downey Jr. He was great too. Felt there was enough Iron Man. I felt like they didn't have too little or too much. I felt it was a perfect amount. The best post-credit scene ever. Captain America was my favorite character in the movie. And, so Tom Holland's great. If you had given the script to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, still would have sucked. But hopefully the Russo brothers can redeem, in my opinion, Spider-Man and fix even people who like it, the problems they had. Iron Man suit. And so hopefully we don't have the same writers who wrote that horrible vacation movie coming back. So hopefully Spider-Man Homecoming 2 or whatever they call it, Spider-Man Prom.
I hope it's called Spider-Man Prom. And it literally just happens a few months later.
Spider-Man class photo day.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can redeem it. And here's the thing. If not a lot of people like it, Sony can still cancel the deal afterwards and take him out.
Yeah.
So,
hey, this is going to be a long episode if we talk this long about everyone.
So,
especially our worst movies. So
we'll move on.
What else? What's the next thing that's going to be a downer before we?
Oh my God!
Your number
Here we
two.
Go.
Your number 2 worst. I don't even have worst, so
here we go, guys.
That's how positive I am.
You thought me not liking Spider-Man Homecoming was going to get people mad.
All right, I have no idea.
Ready.
I have no idea what these next 2 are.
Okay, well. So,
I have
a little bit of a backstory. I was supposed to go see a Fathom event movie. So a Fathom event movie was like, they play it live and across theaters everywhere. So it was, what is that thing called? It's
Right.
My sister wanted to see a musical thing. I don't remember what's Newsies. That's what it was. So, and it didn't work because the theater screwed up with the live stream, and they gave us free movie tickets.
Oh.
And my sister wanted to see one, and I said, "Don't do it. Don't do it. You know how I feel about this director. Don't do it." And she said, "I'm gonna go to it because a singer's in here."
Oh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have a guess.
Number 2 worst movie of the year. Dunkirk.
That's what I thought it was. Isn't this like practically like Oscar potential stuff? Like,
Apparently.
yeah.
So-
I remembered that you didn't like it though. I've never seen it.
So, walking into this movie, there was some baggage.
Yeah.
This is the first movie I've gone to of him since The Dark Knight Rises. Christopher Nolan.
Well, he also did Interstellar, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I love Interstellar. It's one of my favorite movies. But yeah.
So, there's some baggage there.
Yeah.
So, I personally feel Chris Nolan is partially responsible for the failure of the DC Extended Universe. Like, he was involved in Man of Steel, and, you know, Chris Nolan was the one who told Warner Brothers not to let Zack Snyder do whatever he wanted, so he does deserve some of the blame. Still, some blame should be on Snyder and some on the Warner Brothers executives who listened to them, but Chris Nolan, I think, is one of the 3 pieces of why the DCEU has failed. So, there's obviously some baggage walking into this movie.
Right.
Because I feel some people put Christopher Nolan... And look, I love Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. I rewatched... I think they're amazing. I think they're 10 out of 10 movies. But I'll say this. Some people feel Christopher Nolan is on his way to becoming the next Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese. My personal feeling, and I know I'll get hate, but whatever... I feel Christopher Nolan is on his way to becoming the next George Lucas.
Oh.
He's given so much power at Warner's because of those 2 Batman movies and Inception, which I haven't seen. I
also like Inception.
I watched like the first 30 minutes. I'm just like, it's about dreams. I don't care.
Yeah, it's really like it's probably one of those movies that people are like, oh, it's so deep, and that makes them think it's awesome. But I do think it's awesome. It's just not necessarily for that reason.
So that's how I feel about Chris Nolan. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love for him to, in my opinion, to have a comeback.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So I felt the movie is just some scenes of just like action stuff that you really don't care about. I don't care about the characters. Some of the acting is hokey. There's some scenes that are funny unintentionally because sometimes it feels like Christopher Nolan, his main focus is just being dark.
Yeah.
And that's all. And sometimes you forget about the emotion. And like, can I spoil something for you?
Sure, I'm probably never gonna see it.
there's like a scene where there's these 3 guys on a boat, and some guy gets injured or something. Okay. And like the guy's talking to the guy who got injured is talking to this other guy. He goes on this whole long speech or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm blind." So he went through like 5 minutes, or whatever long it's been, of his monologue. By the way, I'm blind. I'm blind now.
Well, yeah.
It just and one of the things the movie does that I think is stupid, it cuts back and forth between different time frames.
Okay.
One takes place over a week. You could be having like one scene. Okay, you're watching. The movie's divided into 3 sections that constantly cut back and forth between the 3. One takes place over a week, one over a day, and one over an hour.
Okay.
So one scene, you're watching the people sinking on the boat. Next scene, they're getting on the boat. Next scene, you're seeing the guy like on a plane, just seeing the boat sinking. Then you're seeing more of them on the boat. Cut to the boat sinking. You know what I mean? Like it just felt.
Okay.
It feels out of
it's
order.
Like weird editing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was apparently the idea, and it's you don't care about anything that's going on screen. It's just, and some of the stuff they do, you're just like, why? I didn't care. It just was stupid. It felt like it felt like it was the problems I had from the first two Nolan movies, Batman movies. Just that's all it was. It felt like it was the problems from those two movies. So that's how I felt about Dunkirk. I thought it was bad.
Okay.
I didn't care.
Those are two controversial opinions back to back because they are highly rated movies, both of them.
Oh well. Come at me!
Yeah, people have different opinions.
Yeah.
I
just... How many times do I talk about Batman Begins and The Dark Knight on this show?
Well, yeah.
Complimenting them?
Yeah. They're
so...
So that's not even your number one
No.
still?
My number one.
Okay.
The worst. The king of crap, as I
think
call it.
There's definitely one movie that is definitely the worst movie this year, but I'm like, have you seen it? Because I haven't, but
I'm curious.
Can I guess just in case? Because to me this is the worst thing that came out this year.
Okay, I probably haven't seen it.
The Emoji Movie?
No.
You haven't seen it, right?
I haven't seen
I would not think you would have, but I was like that's the worst thing that has come into existence this year. And so that's worth it.
It has like a low Rotten Tomato score, right?
Yeah, I mean it's abysmally low.
And you wonder why Sony had to make that deal with Marvel for Spider-Man.
So I have no idea what number one is then.
I think once I say it, I think
Okay.
you'll kick yourself.
Okay. I have another guess. Cars 3.
Yes! Cars 3! What a horrible piece of crap this movie is. Look, I really liked the first Cars movie. I thought it did a great job kind of showing like, it kind of showed like a race car, but how you got something slowed down.
It was a decent one.
Look, and then you got that god awful second one.
Do you think that this Cars 3 is the worst one?
Oh no, no.
The second one is the worst.
Oh yes,
Okay,
Cars 2.
Because I was gonna say,
Cars 2 is so bad. Like you want to hit your head against the wall after watching it.
That's
Cars 3 is such a stupid movie. It is. Cars 3. Cars 2 is so bad. It's just like, who thought this would be good? Cars 3 is like what you feared the first Cars would be.
Oh.
It is an hour and a half of Lightning McQueen trying to get faster. And faster, and faster, and faster. Now, on The Flash, when he tries to get faster, it's like a 10-second scene. This is 90 minutes of vroom, 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 vroom.
Yeah.
And you know what the thing is? They try to do these stupid Toy Story 3 moments that are so not earned. Like, it tries to, like... It's like... It felt like a bad studio trying to be Pixar. Like, we're going to try to tug at your heartstrings. And it's just like, no, you didn't earn it. I don't care about these characters. Right. I only care about these characters one time. It's not like Toy Story 3 where I had a trilogy of... how I care about these characters. I don't care. This is stupid. Just finish up this movie so I can go home. But then it's horrible. Look. Oh, maybe I shouldn't bring this up. So a lot of bad things have been happening.
There will be positivity right after this.
A lot of bad things happening in Hollywood since we last did our comment section.
Right.
John Lasseter's no longer at Pixar because he turned out to be a creep.
You're right.
Apparently he was the one who pushed for these Cars movies to be made, so hopefully, Pixar, I beg you,
honestly, like,
let this be the death of the Cars franchise.
To me, Cars 2 and Cars 3 are just the stain in the Pixar, like...
Yes.
Like, there are others that aren't as... Like, they're not... They still seem like they have heart, but they aren't as good.
Well, have you seen Good Dinosaur?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I haven't seen it, okay. But, like, I think that Monsters University is clearly less good than almost every other Pixar movie,
but it's not a train wreck.
It has heart. Like, yes. I like it. So it's like it deserves to be a Pixar movie, even though it's clearly not as good. But Cars 2 and 3 are just like a stain in their pad. Like,
let's just hope this is the end. Like, I know that the toys or whatever still make you a bunch of money. Let's just hope this is the end. Retire this stupid franchise to the scrapyard.
Yeah.
Have it be over. I hate this franchise.
They can make money and like with good new ideas like Coco.
Yes.
Clearly, because that like I
Who
haven't
wouldn't
seen,
want like a stuffed thing of that ugly dog?
yeah.
So, guys, if you want Cars to live on, like, just do the merchandise. No more Cars. Just have it die.
Yeah.
Have these writers. I mean, these writers were horrible. Don't have these artists or whatever waste their time on this crap.
Yeah.
So,
Your three worst
there
movies.
it is.
And I loved everything. No, I just don't.
You just died inside because I love Cars 3.
I just think if I don't, I probably wasn't going to like Cars 3, so I didn't see it. So I probably shouldn't have said that it was a stain on the franchise since I haven't seen it.
I'm surprised that it has like a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
Maybe people are just like, it's not as bad as the other one.
That's probably part of it. But
So let's get
yeah.
into some good stuff.
So yeah, since you only have a top 5, I'll just we'll try and quickly go through my first 5.
Okay.
My
your
10
bottom
through
5.
6. Yeah. So
Reverse
now,
order.
here are our top lists. I have a top 10 list. Best movies of the year.
What? Can I ask something real quick?
Yeah.
So have you? You didn't see all these in theaters. Some of these you saw on Blu-ray, right?
Some, yeah, or rent, or I don't know. It depends with all of them.
So that's why I still need to catch up on a lot of 2017.
Yeah, no, I barely go to theaters at all.
Okay. I was getting a little concerned, like, oh man, have I been like missing out?
Yeah, no, I most of these I just saw at home.
And then at the end, we'll guess what each other's number 1 was.
Yeah, okay. So my number 10 is... We're probably going to talk about it again. It's probably a crossover.
Oh God.
It's Justice League.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Your reaction though is probably coming up later. But yeah, this is like when I went in knowing the reviews were like bad for this movie, and I just watched it and I was like, what did I see the same movie? Like I thought it was like incredible.
I feel like I'm not trying to like spin critics. Just
Yeah.
this is what I think because it happens to me too. I feel like if you were real excited for Batman versus Superman and you didn't like it and you got burned, that's. I mean, you go.
Okay.
Look.
You going with high
I
expectations.
don't want to do this, but I know it's going to be the same way for when I see the next Spider-Man movie.
Right.
I got so burned by it that I'm not expecting to like it.
But you know what? Like, well, I guess I didn't go in with these expectations. I watched Batman vs Superman right before I saw Justice League. Like I literally finished it and then went to the movie theater. And I think for me the comparison was stark because I think that the Justice League is at least like 1,000 times better than Batman vs Superman. And I thought Batman vs Superman was okay. But
I feel like Batman vs Superman is a great Batman movie.
yeah.
But it suffers with Superman the crossover. This one I felt did a better job at crossing them over.
Can we're gonna have a Justice League episode, and we're probably gonna talk about it later in yours list. But I just loved that it felt very comic booky. Like
Yes.
it felt like I was watching a comic book.
It felt like it felt like this movie. Once again, they weren't trying to just copy the Dark Knight style. This was we found it. We're gonna you gotta take what we saw on the paper, put it on the screen.
And I've also talked about the like. I'm not necessarily someone who cares about plot first and foremost, and the plot was a lot of the criticism that I've seen of this movie. I liked the way the characters played off each other. I thought it was really fun. So I'm just gonna move on. Yeah.
Who's your favorite Justice Leaguer?
The Flash was awesome.
All right.
Like I said, I like that comedy stuff, but it worked in this movie to me. I thought the Flash was really funny. My number 9 is a weird one, going in a completely different direction. It's a Netflix movie. There's been some good Stephen King adaptations this year. Here's one of them.
Another one.
Gerald's Game, a Netflix movie, which like I didn't know what to expect. It's like I don't know if it's like a short story novella by him, but I didn't know about this book at all, despite liking Stephen King. But it's like a weird movie that the synopsis you would never expect it to be that good, and it's like a psychological thriller type of movie, but it deals a lot with like psychological like it's such a internal thing because there's basically one character and it's just everything going on in her head, and they did it so well. It's probably one of the best iterations of just like a completely internal movie I've seen. It's really quite unexpectedly good.
Can I real quick go back to the previous topic? Just to ask you a question.
To Justice League?
Yeah.
Right.
So you've seen it's not really a trilogy. You've seen all 3 Zack Snyder DC movies. Man of Steel, BVS,
Man of Steel,
and Justice League.
I don't totally remember.
So, what do you feel about Man of Steel, I guess? Because for me, this Zack Snyder trilogy went from bad to good to
I think Man of Steel is like everything I don't want superhero movies to be.
I'm surprised because of the 3 Zack Snyder ones, it has the highest Rotten Tomatoes score. So many people, that's their favorite, which shocks me especially because I think Snyder works better with Batman than Superman, so I feel like that's...
Yeah. Well, it's probably on your list, so we can talk more. We can talk more about it. We'll get into it, but yeah, that shocks me, actually. 8 is Spider-Man Homecoming. 7? No,
God!
I didn't really know where to put Spider-Man Homecoming. I was just... In fact...
Okay, we'll play a little game.
Yeah.
Convince me why I should like this. But
you're
disqualified if you say because it's funny.
Okay, I'm gonna try and make this quick. If you go in, this is kind of a bad convince, I think. But if you really go in without like wanting to see a Spider-Man movie, like if you're comparing it to the other series, like the Sam Raimi ones and then the Amazing Spider-Man ones, if you're using that scope to look at it, this is completely different. And I often think that people don't like things because they're going into it with a certain scope. I think that that's why a lot of people don't like The Force Awakens, because they're just like, I always hear people say, it's a good movie, but it's not a good Star Wars movie. But it's a good movie.
Can I just say one difference between the two?
Yeah.
Spider-Man, that's not your character. The Force Awakens, those are your new characters.
That's true.
So...
I mean, I think some people think that they disrespected the old characters because of what they did with them in it, but...
And they brought them back.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I'll just say...
But I'm not trying to convince anyone. Like you said, you didn't try and convince me to not like it. You don't need to like it.
I'm begging you, help me.
Yeah, but like... I'm not trying to just say that it's funny, you should like it. I didn't laugh out loud during it. I thought it was fun.
I almost wonder how you would have felt if you had seen Civil War first, because Civil War Spider-Man is classic Spider-Man.
I need to watch it.
Like, Civil War really feels like a combination of the two, while this one felt like it went somewhere I didn't want to go.
Yeah, I think what really brought it home to me was the overall feeling of the fact that when it got to the finish line, it was about friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That was like the theme of it. It was like him realizing, and of course he said him getting the suit in the end. It's like, thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I should watch it again, because that's a little dumb now that I think of it.
Well, I think we can both agree, though, that the best part is the last third.
Yeah, and... like I said in, I think, the last episode, that it almost kind of did the opposite of what Wonder Woman did for me, where I didn't really like the very end, like the last part of Wonder Woman, mostly because of the weird CGI. But with Spider-Man Homecoming, it ended on the high note. So I almost feel like because it ended on the high note, I came out with a good expectation, feeling. I
felt that way until it ends with you saying, hey, remember the fun you had in Act 2? That's what you gain more of.
Yeah. So yeah, but
fun.
I don't know. Like I'm not a good movie analyzer. I'm just giving my opinion on movies that apparently that saying that though completely invalidates my list. But numbers.
As I said, I'm not going to try and convince anyone not to like Spider-Man Homecoming. If it had to exist. And at least there are some people who like it.
I could have done a top 5 because I actually feel strongly about my top 5. And these... I almost put these in...
What number are you at now?
That was 8.
Okay.
Well, basically what I was saying was, I made a top 5, like, that I was like, those are the best 5 movies. And then I kind of was like, I'll try and make it a top 10. So, they're almost in no particular order.
So we're at 7 now.
So yeah, 7... I just saw. A lot of these I just saw.
Can I take a guess?
Okay.
I envy you because you've seen 2 movies I want to see.
Yeah.
Is it The Disaster Artist?
It is The Disaster
Oh,
Artist.
you lucky!
Number 7.
You're so lucky!
It's
I might try to buy the book.
yeah, it seems like it'll be so interesting. The movie almost did, like, it kind of didn't do what I expected. Like it's actually, like, it's kind of heartfelt and just interesting. Like, it's really, like, I expected it to be, like, I love
Just
The
like,
Room. I thought it would
making
just
fun
be
of it?
super funny, like, making fun of it, making fun of Tommy Wiseau. And it was, like,
Did you see the post-credits scene?
oh, it's with, do you don't know it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So,
I didn't see it, but I know what it is.
okay.
I left early.
So,
So,
okay, what was it? What was I
but
gonna
yeah,
say?
it's great. It's really funny, and it's amazing that that's real. They actually said that like test screenings, they didn't believe it. Like they were just like, this didn't happen, and it's amazing to go in and just that actually is happened. Like it's so insane.
So it lived up to the hype.
I think it. I was thinking this is gonna be fun, and I think it exceeded my hype a little bit.
Oh man. So number 1, to bring back The Room into theaters because of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And number 2, this is something to think about that a lot of people have been pointing out online.
Yeah.
So I'm not stealing it.
Okay.
This movie is getting great reviews.
Mhm.
It could be an Oscar contender. There's a chance
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau
Oh my
gets
God.
up on that Oscar stage
Oh
with
my
James
God.
Franco.
Oh.
And what if he takes this? What if he what if he accepts the award? Because he's just like James did what I did, so he takes the award,
Right.
and Tommy Wiseau gets an Oscar.
Oh gosh, that is gonna be such a moment. It's gonna be the greatest Oscars ever if that happens.
Oh my! He did it. He did. He caught it up.
Like the thing, it's really kind of insane to think about that. Like, I mean, he literally made a successful movie that he completely wasted like a ton of money in, but still made a profit.
Yes.
Over the long run.
I think
It's insane.
All those people in that acting class with him,
I know.
and they're gonna be watching, and he gets an Oscar.
Man.
And we don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm imagining James will dedicate that Oscar to him.
That is. I hope it wins awards because it would be a cool, interesting thing to see get awards. My number 6 is completely not a genre of movie that I ever delve into typically. and-
Romantic comedy.
yeah.
Oh my god!
You were joking, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
This is probably the best romantic comedy I've ever seen. With it being
How many have you seen?
Not many, but it doesn't make what
I
I'm
heard
saying untrue.
rom-coms are hard to make, so if it's up there, that must mean something.
I mean, it's not that high because it's not like a type of movie that, but I have like no complaints about it. Basically, it's called The Big Sick, with Kumail Nanjiani. It's based on a true story of him and his wife started dating, and then at one point she fell into a medically induced coma, and he met her parents through that. It's almost a little like not that romantic comedy. It's sort of like just this kind of dark comedy like situation of meeting his ex-girlfriend's parents during this dark time. So it's kind of a dark comedy in a way, but it's like very like I just kind of randomly watched it because I'm a fan of Kumail Nanjiani as a comedian, and I was like, wow, this is like unexpectedly good. Like, I just had no complaints about it when it was over, and I was like, wow, I cannot believe that is going to be one of my favorites of the year. But it was very.
So was it
Yes.
one like you rented or?
That was. I think it might have been on some streaming thing. I rented it, but like online. So, that was on. Yeah, that was only. I don't remember when it came out, but it was only a few weeks ago that I saw it. So now my 5 are here. So we both have 5 left.
Yes.
So I don't know. Do you want to call back an unwanted answers tradition and flip to see who goes on to number 5 first?
Yes, I would.
I would like to go 5, 5, 4, 4, but it depends on who goes first.
All right, so
I always pick tails,
yes.
like in our other podcast, Unwanted Answers. Okay.
Oh, real quick, I do have a special shout out movie that's not in the top 5.
So an honorable mention.
Yeah.
All right. What's your honorable mention?
So, I didn't see this in theaters. It's a It's a reboot of something from my youth. Oh. I didn't see it in theaters because I was just like, it's like the magic's not going to be there because I'm not 5 anymore. So, but I did pick up on Blu-ray. Oh, I die knowing that this beat Spider-Man: Homecoming. The Power Rangers movie.
Oh, really?
Really?
I
felt like it did a good job of rebooting it, making it more adult while still staying true. And I'll say Justice League didn't do this, but it felt like it kind of did my big rule of make sure if this is your first movie, make sure you make it like it's the only one.
Yeah.
Put everything in there.
Right.
And it felt like they did. And they did. There's one thing that a lot of people might have wanted that they hinted at. So it's like, you're not going to get it, but you know it's still out there somewhere in the universe. So, yeah, I liked it. Although it did have my biggest problem. So there were 2 other Power Rangers movies from the 90s.
Yeah.
It had my biggest complaint about them, and they still brought it back.
Oh.
They don't wear the costumes until the very end of the movie.
Oh.
I can't stand that. That's almost like watching Batman Begins and he doesn't wear the bat suit until the fear gas is released upon Gotham.
Yeah.
You're just like, why?
Yeah.
Don't save it, guys! Put it in there!
Yeah. If you have an iconic thing, you gotta use it.
So, yeah.
I had a couple honorable mentions, being the horror movie that I just think is really underrated, even though it's really good. It was not very popular, called The Black Coat's Daughter, which I just thought was one of the better horror movies this year, and it's very under the radar. And the other was the one that shocked me at it being good at all, which was Annabelle Creation, which was just a solid horror movie, but not quite in my top 10. So I got Tails, because I always pick Tails.
Yes.
So I'm going to go my top 5. My number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I'm a little surprised.
And
I heard not good things about it.
But here's the thing. I disagree with the complaints that people have with that. Like how I said, with a lot of times I hear complaints and I'm like, I get that, but I like it anyway. In this, the complaints don't make any sense to me. There are people, like, the biggest complaint I see is it's just more of the same thing. The themes and everything done in this movie is, like, totally different. Like, it's, like, a completely different theme in this movie. Because the first one was just, like, space adventure where they gotta defeat a bad guy, sort of. The second one is, like, this shrouded theme about, like, dealing with abuse and family and overcoming a horrible past, and it's actually this really, really, like, sad undertone. And the ending, I'm not saying the ending, not like spoiling it, but it culminates actually being very somber, but kind of heartfelt. And it's like, that's totally not how the first one was.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of talks me into it a little bit.
I honestly think if you didn't like the first one that much, the second one probably you would like better. There's silly stuff in it, like Baby Groot's kind of just like, it's sort of like a...
This may be a spoiler.
Yeah.
Is he Baby Groot the whole movie, or has he ever become real Groot?
He's Baby Groot the whole movie, but they used very sparingly. It's not super annoying, but
he never ages to the classic Groot in this film.
Kind of.
Okay.
But you'd have to see it. Basically not. One of my complaints is there are some cheesy things. The main villain I thought was kind of lame until the very end. There's one particular moment that I think is so stupid, and it's like one of the only times I've groaned in a movie. I'm just like, oh my god, they just should have cut that. It's like the stupidest thing. But overall, I actually like it better than the first one. And I think if you like delving into the thematic layer, and here's another thing that maybe would convince you. I almost think that this movie, at its heart, is about Rocket Raccoon.
Oh yeah.
This isn't a direct spoiler, but it basically, I want to say the last shot of the movie is on his face. It's sort of like at the end you realize this was about him the whole time, and it's like heartfelt. But it I really like that. He's my favorite one.
I want to be honest. It's on Netflix. I saw it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
you are really convincing me now.
But it definitely. Another complaint is it definitely, like with the Guardian, I don't like stuff that just references stuff, just reference to like old stuff to like play on people's nostalgia, and it definitely does that, like the first one did, and it's super jokey like the first one is, but there's that extra layer that is very interesting to me, and that makes it better than the first one to me. I saw it twice because the first time I thought it was okay, and then I kept thinking about it, and I was like, that is super unorthodox. Normally in superhero movies, there's like the theme is not this thing about like I really think the underlying theme is letting go of your past and overcoming like abusive past, because like all of them came from this broken abusive past if you think about it, and it's all about like overcoming that. And when I thought about like how the theme is different than a lot of other superhero movies, I was like, people saying it's just more of the same like don't realize how unorthodox of a thematic presence this movie has, and that made it really special to me. And I think it's very different, and I disagree with people who say it's more of the same. So,
yeah, you're convincing me.
I don't know. Like I said, it's not necessarily that someone would like it if they didn't like the first one. They'll like this one. But there's something else there to me that I do think is different. But yeah, what's your number 5?
All right, my number 5. It's one I did not plan to see in theaters.
Okay.
Because I'm not the biggest fan of this genre.
Okay.
But I did go see it.
Right.
I was shocked I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever see another movie in the genre again
Yeah.
in theaters. And I'm shocked about how much I liked it.
Right.
But my number 5 is the movie It.
Of course.
So,
It's a great movie.
I felt this movie, besides being a horror movie, it felt like it mixed in a bunch of other genres. Like, I know that we said like 1989. Did you see in the movie
89.
theater how like it says they're showing Batman?
Yeah, there's some cool cameos.
Like,
they had like Nightmare on Elm Street too.
I don't know how to describe this, but it feels like this movie kind of felt like it was made in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, part of the thing, I don't know, the book is actually the kids are in the 50s, and then when it's 27 years in the future, because the book had, if you know, It Part 2 is going to be 27 years later. The book has both, and they're it changes timelines throughout. It's not the kids and then the adults, but the movies are making a different choice. But in the book, it's not 89, and because it was written in the mid 80s, so it was the 50s and then the 80s when they were adults. So but in the 80s, people were nostalgic of the 50s, sort of. That's the kind of way I'm thinking of it. So now people are nostalgic because it's about the same amount of time back.
Yeah.
Of the 80s. So it's an amazing choice to make it of the 80s because it's doing the same thing that the book did in a different way. And I think that's one of the best ways to adapt something.
I think one of the things that I think really helped this film is it felt like it was combining different genres.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Star Wars, it's a sci-fi fantasy, but yet it feels like it combines a bunch of genres so that, you know, it felt like there's something there for everyone.
Right.
Like, not just horror
It's very accessible. It's one of the most recommendable horror films ever.
And even though we know there's going to be part 2, it felt like it wasn't just like build up to this other one and then cliffhanger.
They could have ended it there.
It felt like a complete film, and that if there's a sequel, great. But
that's one thing that if the sequel for some reason absolutely sucks, it'll be fine because it's like that felt like a complete story in the first one. So
and also I remember you said something when we talked about it, and I have a different opinion.
All right.
And that is, this movie made me more curious to see the 90s version. Because
Right.
I'm less like,
Yeah.
well, I like this. I'd like to see kind of like how like someone else did it too. So
Yeah.
it made me a little more curious about like the 90s version. Although maybe I'll stay away from part 2 for now.
Yeah.
Because
I think
that's the ultimate spoiler.
Yeah, I think that the miniseries, it's mostly just that, in my opinion, that it was lower budget and it was a TV, like a network TV thing, and it's just they couldn't do the story justice necessarily. So the movie's better, but it can always be worth going. Like the miniseries is all right, but
So yeah, I spent the whole time, my palms sweating, in fear the whole time because
Yeah.
I don't like being afraid. So don't know if I'll see part 2 in theaters, but still, it was
yeah.
a good film.
Yeah. It's real good. So 4 we're on. Impeccable.
4.
My number 4 is Wonder Woman. I had high hopes, and then it was good. I don't even know. Like this is more of an example of, like how I said, Man of Steel to me was everything that a superhero movie just shouldn't be, in my opinion. This was like everything a superhero movie should be. It was like it felt like you were watching a hero be a hero and like defeat bad. Like it was great. It felt more like a Superman movie than the Superman movies, except that it was a Wonder Woman
So
movie. But
without spoiling it, Wonder Woman's also on my list. So I'll get into my thoughts more. But I remember watching it and just saying, "Man, this is what they should have done with Superman."
yeah,
So, yeah. So, yeah, for me, without, like, I'll get in one. This felt like it was, besides just obviously being this, it felt like it was Wonder Woman's Dawn or Superman or Burton Batman
Yeah.
or Batman Begins.
yeah. If it continues in this quality, it's probably like the superhero franchise I'm the most excited for continuing. Just please continue.
We'll see.
Please continue.
I hate to say this.
Yeah.
I think it's got a 50-50 chance of Wonder Woman 2 happening.
I hope it happens.
I
I almost can't picture anyone else but Gal Gadot being Wonder Woman anymore. Like, it's such a good performance that I'm just like, no one else can do it.
It will be a shame because I do believe that I think the audience can forgive. I think the audience can forgive them. So I think they're gonna try again with Gal Gadot with the new Batman, the new Superman, because
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's not coming back. And honestly, I don't want him to come back. I'd rather it go to someone else, even
Yeah.
though I think he's a great Batman. I'd want someone who wants to be there, and I think Henry Cavill's done. So unfortunately, I think everyone besides Wonder Woman from Justice League is done.
Yeah.
So I think Wonder Woman 2, you have a 50-50 shot of her continuing.
I hope it happens.
It
Well,
sucks that this is what happened.
yeah. Well, you got a number 4?
Yes. What is my number 4? I don't remember it. Oh. It's too bad we didn't have comment section a year ago. Because I would have been bashing this movie before.
So you expected it to be bad, but it was good.
Yes.
Oh.
I was just like, this is stupid. Why are you making this? Shame on you. Shame on you. The live action Beauty and the Beast
Oh.
was actually a really good movie. I felt like it did a really good job of adapting the animated film into live action, and this is something I think was smart. Look, if this were a good movie or a bad movie, here's the thing to remember. In 10 years, no one's going to remember this movie. Like, let's just be honest. No, we all remember the cartoon 101 Dalmatians. No one remembers that one from the 90s. Even though that one is later. It's just in 10 years, this movie is going to be forgotten either way. It's just the way it is. So it felt like this movie wasn't going out to replace it. This felt like a loving tribute to that film.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt like it did a great job of doing that. The film, the worst part is the first like 5 minutes. They like literally. You watch the first 5 minutes, you were getting a little worried. Like, oh my god, they're really dragging this out.
Oh.
So if they cut that first 5 minutes out, but that's the good thing is once you get past those first 5 minutes, you're fine.
I should really see it because I was also wary of it, but then it came out and I saw like more extended trailers and I was like, that doesn't look bad.
Like in general, I hate live action Disney. I think live action Disney in general is terrible. I don't mean Marvel or Star Wars. I mean
Disney, yeah.
It's usually just a star from the Disney Channel making poop jokes the whole time.
This is a tangent, but you just remembered by putting Disney and Star Wars in the same sentence. This is something I've been thinking lately. What do you think? Like, what if they made CGI animated Star Wars films?
Well, they did, and it didn't do that well.
Which one was it?
The Clone Wars movie.
There was a movie. Okay, apparently
Yes.
I'm not as big of a star. I thought there was just a series.
You can find it on
But-
Netflix.
Like, if they actually put effort into it, like a proper Disney animated feature,
I feel like that's more like something you'd see on TV.
yeah.
Because I feel like one of the problems that Spider-Man movie's gonna have is that why would you go to an animated one where you can wait a little bit and see the live action one?
That's true, but I almost
Like-
you could almost put it to a different
To be
audience. though.
fair, Batman Mask of the Phantasm is the best Batman movie to ever be shown in theaters. It is a masterpiece. It did not do well at the box office, partially because they kind of decided at the last minute to put it in theaters, but also
Yeah.
it's just like it came between Batman Returns and Batman Forever, and it's just like, I mean, you can wait. You can why go a cartoon one when you can just wait for? I mean, yeah, a few years to wait, but it's just like why to go when I can just watch it on TV for free? So
Right.
even though it is the best Batman movie in theaters ever made,
You're right.
so
Yeah, I guess my dot connect was like, Disney does animation real well usually. So, but yeah, it's a completely
I
different
would-
franchise.
you know what? Maybe. Oh man, people could get mad.
Yeah, I didn't think this was necessarily a good idea. I was just
Could?
saying, would it happen and could it be good?
I would say possibly if you do an animated one between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, maybe with Han, Luke, and Leia, but with voice actors, and since it's animated, you can show them young.
Right.
That's probably the closest, but
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, they constantly have Star Wars cartoons on TV, so
Right.
I
know
I would
those, but
think-
I was thinking of production. But yeah.
I'd probably say they wouldn't.
So yeah, your number 4. That was your number 4, right?
Yeah, so
Beauty and the
I
Beast.
was surprised by it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
All right. Do you want to get into my number 3?
Sure.
First, I want to say my top 3 are like neck and neck, and each one of them.
I should probably mention this. I have not seen Coco or Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
I haven't seen Coco or Thor Ragnarok, and I feel like I would probably really like both of those. Those are two that I'm like, if I saw it, it might be in there. But so my top 3 are all like in other years they might have been my number 1. Like they're all like 10 out of 10 movies to me. So my number 3, and for a long time before these other movies came into my life, it was my number 1 of this year. Like after it came out, I was like, this is the best movie of the year, and it's Get Out.
Oh,
It came out earlier this year by director Jordan Peele, who normally is a comedy guy.
Jordan Peele. Some people may not remember this. This is going back to the 2000s.
Mad TV.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jordan Peele was one of my favorite cast members on Mad TV, and he did one of my favorite sketches, Trapped in the Cupboard.
Oh, is that like a who made this song? Is
R.
that
Kelly?
a parody? Yeah, the parody. of that.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. Him and Bobby Lee, I thought were such a great duo
Yeah.
on Mad. Please bring back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they tried bringing it back, but they didn't put it at
Yeah,
late
and
night.
I liked a lot of Key and Peele skits, which is how I knew about Jordan Peele.
Put it on Comedy Central.
But gosh, and he says he has more horror movie ideas, and he's going to make them.
And this is his first movie directing too.
It's like the best debut direct. Like it's so like this. If this isn't, when do like Oscar nominations come out? Do those exist yet? No.
I feel like that comes out like beginning of.
It
next
didn't even
year.
get nominated for like Golden Globes though. So
Wait,
it is such a snub.
it?
I don't. Maybe I don't know if it
I
did.
feel like there was a controversy about it. I think Golden Globes, it got nominated for Best Comedy.
Like, there are obviously two movies that I put higher on this list, but this is like the most Oscar-worthy movie on my entire list. It is 10 out of 10. I have no complaints about it, and I am so excited for his future
I am
movie.
pretty sure it did. I will check.
But yeah,
But keep talking.
But yeah, like this movie, like it is first of all just like a completely different thing that you'd ever expect in horror.
Yes, it did get for Golden Globe.
Oh, it did. What is it? For what for?
Best musical or comedy.
Okay. I do
mean-
remember that. I do remember that being being in the comedy field.
It's Golden Globes is so stupid because
Yeah.
they did that with The Martian too.
Yeah, I remember that. It is actually a very funny movie.
Here's the
But,
other ones they
yeah.
have. They have The Disaster Artist, Get Out, The Greatest Showman, I, Tonya, and Lady Bird.
I really wish Get Out was in a different category, so the Disaster Artist would win and Get Out would win something else. But
I mean drama. You have Call Me by Your Name, Done Crap, Ghost, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
yeah, Get Out has a lot of humor in it, but yeah, I mean, it's so
It was
much-
clearly just
it's
put
like-
there just so they could
so they might win.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just masterful tension and amazing social commentary and just an incredible plot and great acting, and it's like the perfect movie to come out this year. It's like just phenomenal. And that's why I said my entire top 3 is like I like that being my number 3 is insane.
You're like,
if you would have went back in time after I first saw it and said, "Yeah, that's your number 3 movie of the year," I'd be like, "You idiot!
You
This is
lie.
obviously the
You
best
lie
movie
to
of the year."
me.
But they're so close. Like,
All right.
it's such a good movie. Okay,
My
Your
number
number
3 is, in my opinion, the best Marvel movie of the year.
okay.
So, I think it's been a rough year for me in Marvel this year, to say the least. So, the fact that I knew I was gonna be like this movie, but I didn't know. And this is not like me saying that. Oh, this is not as bad as the other ones. This is still a really good movie, and that is Thor Ragnarok. Now,
I was guessing that almost. Yeah.
this movie had a little bit of a struggle because it's a Thor movie, and I noticed this. There was a comment section, it might have been the last one we did, where we talked about what's a popular superhero that we don't care about.
Right.
And you mentioned one, and I mentioned 2,
Yeah.
and all 3 are in this movie.
Right. Yeah.
So Thor Ragnarok. I'm trying to remember what I said. I felt like this movie did such a great job wrapping up like the Thor trilogy.
Yeah.
Like of the 3 Marvel trilogies, I think Civil War was a better movie, but this one felt like it felt the most like it was wrapped up.
Oh, okay.
Like it felt. I almost feel like superhero movies should be like Star Wars, where a trilogy
Separate
is one,
trilogies,
Yeah,
yeah.
a trilogy is one arc, and then yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love the way the movie looks. That's one thing I've noticed
Yes.
about it. It has a great
I thought that the Hulk was my favorite because I love the Hulk, and this made up for not having the move how we can't have a solo Hulk movie because Universal has the rights.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was great. I felt it was a great crossover between the two. Chris Hemsworth does a great job with comedy. And
Yeah.
this movie compared, like, because I've talked about how I don't like how Spider-Man Homecoming is so jokey. This movie knew how to use the comedy but not overdo it.
Right.
And I felt like, I think the biggest thing I took from this movie was it felt like a nice wrap-up of this story so that if we get Thor 4, we can start a new chapter for this character. So yeah, I thought they did a great job with that. My only complaint, and this isn't really a complaint, I guess, I wish they would have had a different person voicing the Hulk than Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like Mark Ruffalo doing a deep voice. Like I
Yeah.
wish they would have gotten a voice actor who could have been the Hulk
Right.
more. So That's like my only complaint about it.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I thought they did a great job. If you go for Thor, you'll be happy. If you go for Hulk, you'll be happy. Hulk, I think, had the most interesting story going on.
Oh yeah.
And they said that Thor Ragnarok is the beginning of kind of a Hulk trilogy with Thor and the two Avengers ones. And if what we see in this movie continues, we're going to have a very great story for the Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That's a movie that's like I really wish I would have seen it already. I gotta get there. It really looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're down to my top 2. You said we were gonna guess each other's number 1, but
Yeah.
I almost feel like my top 2. Like, do you want to guess my top? Well, like, I don't know. Maybe that's too much of a spoiler. Yeah, I'll just go on. We'll guess each other's top 1.
All right.
But my number 2, I had to add this morning because it's The Last Jedi and it just came out. And so I obviously can't talk about this one much, but
Someday.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye on these reviews pouring in. It looks like the critics really liked it. It seems like there's polarizing audience reactions from what I've seen so far. And this is another, I feel like I've seen a different movie if that's what's happening. But
Oh, wait, can I ask for that real quick?
Yeah.
You know how you said it was spoiled for you?
The Force Awakens, yeah.
Have you had that yet where it's... And you didn't... But have you seen spoilers?
I haven't really. That hasn't been clearly tagged as a spoiler. I haven't seen someone just say something out of nowhere.
Right now it's 93 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's the same as The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah. I think... Yeah, those
And
two I think
that's
are...
something that gives me a cue. Here's something that... One of my early reactions is this. I absolutely love The Force Awakens, and I absolutely love this movie. I feel like a lot of people who didn't like The Force Awakens won't like this
my
movie.
God.
It was 60 the last time I looked at it.
Wow.
I don't know what movie
the-
they saw. Like, it's really...
Go away, BB-8.
I actually, to me, it felt even more like a Star Wars movie than The Force Awakens did. And this is something that people who did like it
I
have been
heard
saying.
it's like a controversial movie.
That's why, one thing I do think that people who did like it are saying, and I agree with, is The Force Awakens was so much like previous Star Wars films, like so much like A New Hope, that people hated it. It was just like, this isn't anything, like, it's just the same thing. This was so different, like, plot-wise, that I think it's like, it's almost like, to me, that's like, it's like Star Wars fans don't know what they want. Like,
I could talk... when I talk about Justice League, I'll say something.
yeah.
Come on, Rotten Tomatoes. Man, that surprises me. Average rating.
That's surprising, man. I don't know what movie they saw. It's really like,
And I really liked... Force Awakens.
I think I like it better than The Force Awakens.
So this is now your favorite of
And
all
like,
of them.
it might like, I have all of the like my top 4 Star Wars movies are so close that it changes all the time what one's my favorite. Like, but that's in my top 4. Like that's what I mean. My top 4 are so close because this is in it now. It is. I don't know. I think, like I said, it's like, I liked The Force Awakens, and I liked where they were going with it, and then they kind of did what I expected. So I think that might be another thing that, like, it satisfied what I wanted of it, and I think that for some people, it didn't do that. And this is my hope. The Force
Your new
Awakens,
hope.
yes, my brand new hope. The Force Awakens, everyone loved, and then as time went on, people were like, it's actually not that good. Like, as we saw recently with, like, J.J. Abrams getting director of Episode 9 and people reacting negatively to it.
So will people...
I hope it's the other way around with this. I hope people are like, gosh, this is so different. And then later they're like, this is actually the best Star Wars film. Like, I hope later. I know people never say that.
No, it will...
There will always be most
It's
people
why
saying,
I feel like they should reboot, because you are always going to be in the shadow of that trilogy.
I was exaggerating, but yeah, they're always going to be everyone who thinks
Like,
that the original
for me,
trilogy is.
like, my top 3 are the original trilogy. So
Yeah.
don't plan on anything ever for me beating Return of the Jedi. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always
Which
so
I just
open
rewatched
for-
this
for new
morning.
stuff. There's one big spoiler, like a few big spoilers that I feel like in the trailer. Luke says, "This is not going to go how you expect," or something like that. That sums up this whole movie, and I think that's why people are upset.
I feel like I saw that somewhere online.
Like someone saying that.
Yeah,
Because,
just like how Luke Skywalker says.
yep, that's
You know,
this
that
movie.
might have been Mark Hamill who said that in an interview.
Yeah, I think it might have been. That sums up the whole movie. And the aversion of my expectations made it thrilling to me.
So, so right now, we'll pretend Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi didn't happen.
Okay.
So, just looking at Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones,
Okay.
New Hope and Empire, and now Force Awakens and Last Jedi. For you right now, we'll pretend the duologies.
Okay.
This is the best duology.
I mean, if you're putting, I have some regrets about saying in that episode that Force Awakens was my favorite, because I'm not confident in that opinion, because it's like, I mean, they're classics, man. It's A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. How can you say that something's better than that? Like, I feel that too, but The Force Awakens was just like a absolutely fun movie, and The Last Jedi built off of it so well that, like, it's just mostly that this trilogy so far is just hitting all the beats I want it to, and it could make for an amazing ending. And like, it doesn't have to be as good. So if you're someone who doesn't think it's as good as the original trilogy, it doesn't have to be.
No.
Like, it's
As long, I feel like, yeah, as long, I don't know why. Why do you feel it has to be as good or better?
I never got, like,
It just needs to
and
be good.
People always think that stuff like just completely shattered. Like, if you don't like it, that it's completely ruined the whole franchise or something. But like,
I mean, the nice thing is I can say this is that if you don't like this current trilogy, you do have those what was those books that they had
there's a lot of extended universe books.
that takes place after. So
Right? Yeah,
you have an alternate timeline.
that's true. There's like an infinite amount of Star Wars material out there for everyone.
Yes. And who knows? Maybe you'll like that Rian Johnson trilogy now. You know,
Wait,
because he's directing a separate trilogy.
Yeah, oh yeah. In a way, I almost do, like, it didn't have any of the same. It was not like the way that The Force Awakens is very parallel to A New Hope. This wasn't like that to The Empire Strikes Back at all. Like, a lot of people
Oh,
expected
thank
that.
God.
It is really different, but I feel like it does for the trilogy as the middle segment kind of the same thing. Like, it's such a grander scale. Like, one thing I always said about The Force Awakens, and people kind of like saying, is just kind of this fun movie. That's kind of what the first Star Wars was like. It wasn't that deep. There was a bad guy that we didn't know the depth of the character yet. He was just a bad guy. Like, he was just a menacing bad guy. And it was just some heroes trying to save a princess, and like, it was just a fun sci-fi movie.
It's like a classic hero's tale.
Like, that's what the first Star Wars was, and that's kind of what The Force Awakens is. It has even a little more, like, I don't want to say it has more depth, because then it'll get killed, but it's like, it has more to it almost than like what it originally was planned, because they didn't know what they were doing yet with the first Star Wars, not entirely.
I feel almost like one of the things people, well, maybe more diehards, is that we're hearing now some people wish that they would have just followed the George Lucas outline
Like, for after, because he, like, for
the 7, 8, 9. Do you think they'll ever be published? The outline.
It's hard to say with George Lucas's stuff. I don't know.
I don't know.
It
It would be interesting to see what he would have done.
I kind of lost faith in some of the ideas because of the prequels, because I just think the midi-chlorians thing and stuff is, yeah, but
So, I would just like to rub something in your face.
okay.
I need only wait a few days to see a new Star Wars film. You now
I have to wait
2 years.
Or if is it still set for May 2020?
No.
It got pushed.
It got
to
pushed
December.
when JJ took over.
I have to wait 2 years,
Yeah.
and I'm not enormously excited for the Solo movie. Hopefully, it beats my expectations.
Hopefully. I mean, for me, the no lightsabers kind of hurts it a little. Which I know
Yeah.
some people will give you like that's
Okay.
stupid, but I mean,
This is one more thing I wanted to say. Just
that's
that,
one thing that disappoints me with the original Star Wars is that's not the climax.
Yeah. But, one thing I want to say about that, like, I think even people who didn't like it should somewhat agree with me on this. There's one action sequence in this that is like the best action sequence in any Star Wars movie. I won't necessarily say this is the best Star Wars movie, and I don't think it is, like, objectively. Like, I have just my own personal taste that makes me like this new trilogy more than most people. Objectively, just looking at them as movies, I could
spoil.
see Empire Strikes Back being the best movie. That's all I'm saying.
Don't spoil.
I'm not spoiling
Okay, okay.
anything. I'm not saying. I was just saying that, like, if I'm looking at it objectively, man, The Empire Strikes Back is, like, the most classic one. It's, like, such a historic
It's
moment
got
in
the most
cinema.
quoted line ever.
Absolutely. So it's like, no, I'm not saying these new movies are, like, gonna beat these legendary movies, but there's an action sequence that is just,
In this one,
I'd be so surprised if fans were not happy with that part. But I'm not gonna talk about it now because barely anyone's seen it.
yes, only half of us have.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, number 2.
very happy with Star Wars:
yeah.
The Last Jedi.
Yep.
And I only
That
need
was-
to wait a few days or you 2 years.
Well, I get to think of, well, the it's not gonna be spoiled for me. You still have a little chance of that. Hopefully it doesn't.
I had the Luke Skywalker thing be spoiled for me
Yeah.
last time about how he doesn't show up till the very end,
Yeah.
which was like I was surprised hearing that a lot of people don't like The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I want to get into that probably when I talk about Justice League, but the one thing I can understand would be saving Luke till the end. If you said that ruined it for you, I'd be like, I liked it, but I get it.
Yeah.
That was like the one that's a complaint I understand.
I kind of have a theory, and this is just my theory, so it's not really a spoiler, that each movie is kind of focusing on one of them.
Like,
So,
it'll be different now in 10 years when some kid can just pop in the next Blu-ray right away.
And what I'm saying is I think The Force Awakens is Han Solo's kind of new trilogy movie. I mean, not that he was the main character. At the base, it's about the new characters. But it focused a lot on Han Solo in that movie. So,
But yeah, I feel like it's going to be different when a kid can pop it in. Maybe it will
Yeah.
work better once a kid can watch them all about saving Luke till the very end.
yeah.
You know what I'm excited about? Which, not to keep going off on Star Wars, a
Yeah.
movie I haven't yet seen. So, I'm rewatching all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's going to be cool to once I finish Return of the Jedi, because I got 10 minutes left,
Yeah.
taking that disc out, popping it in, and see Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher 30 years later.
Yeah.
Because, like, with Batman movies, I don't have that. Like, I'll watch the 60s Batman, but 20 years later, it's Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And then, even in those movies, he keeps getting younger with Val Kilmer and George Clooney, and then
Yeah.
20 years after that, it's Ben Affleck, so...
Yeah, that is cool. Like, I mean, it's great. It's really surreal to see them back sometimes.
Do you think, years from now, kids will think that that's makeup?
That they just
That it was filmed 3 years later, and they
Yeah.
just aged him up?
despite the vastly like different filming styles,
Kids?
they wouldn't notice that. But.
Kids? Oh, no. You think you have to wait 6 months for a new Star Wars movie? Oh, no. Oh, no. Let me tell you about them 30 years. I had to wait from before I was born.
Yep.
10 years before me.
And I thought I was done waiting, and I wasn't because the middle ones didn't. Okay. But yeah.
And then you got them prequels, which, killed the hearts of millions around the world.
Yeah.
A lot of voices cried out in terror, and then suddenly silence.
Oh gosh, that's
So, here we go for my number 2.
number 2.
I have a feeling you know what my number 2 is going to be.
Yeah, I think I know what your one and or
Yes. expecting to be called biased, but whatever. My number 2 is Wonder Woman, which was such a great movie. I felt it did a great job of like making like the most iconic Wonder Woman movie. I liked how it felt like it was being its own thing. It didn't feel like how Man of Steel or BVS tried to just copy the Chris Nolan style, which meant it also copied its flaws. This felt like it was trying to be its own thing, and I thought they did a great job. The one thing I would say is, this is something I feel like DC movies should do going forward. I feel like don't have it like Batman Returns, but maybe kind of give the villain a little more screen time, like what Heath Ledger's Joker, Jack's Joker had, or compared to the previous, because it feels like they only show up like a few scenes and then the climax.
Yeah.
Like maybe they should have more of a Darth Vader role.
Yeah, that's always what I like about. That's to me why Darth Vader's one of the best villains. It's the looming presence over the entire series.
And that was like a problem. So sometimes I listen to the show sometimes, and sometimes it feels like I bash the Nolan trilogy, even though I love those movies. But it's a little bit like, well,
you're mostly talking about The Dark Knight Rises.
Well, even when I talk about Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, sometimes it sounds like I'm bashing it, but I'm just like, let's not repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, when we had the Dark Knight trilogy, it might sound like I was bashing the previous movies, because I was like, let's make sure that we focus on Batman, not have the villains overtake it, like Batman Returns.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something they should do, is give the villain a little more screen time.
Yeah.
My only complaint, well, no, besides the fact that we might not get a sequel because of another movie, is that I feel like Ares at the end, he should have ripped off the skin face and just had a CGI face. It looked so bad.
That was like, I felt like I was watching a genuinely crappy movie when that action scene, when that climax was happening. Like, I can't imagine how it was a good idea to have the mustachioed man who's in Harry Potter be what Ares looks like.
Yeah, it just felt like...
I just wish you wouldn't have taken off that. You saw what he looked like, and then he's turned into the CGI, like, armored version. He didn't need to start showing his face again.
I don't want... What was the point of that?
I don't... Like, that was the dumb... Like, that was a similar... Like how I said, and there's a moment in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where I just groaned, and I was like, that was so stupid. That was the one thing in Wonder Woman where I was like, what? And then I remembered, oh, actually, I love this movie.
But, yeah, Wonder Woman, you had a great story. I felt they felt like a great adaptation of the character. I felt we had great performances. The standouts for me were Gal Gadot and, what's the guy? Chris Pine?
Yeah.
So, they were great. Hopefully we get Wonder Woman 2.
I hope.
Well, let's hope. Because I was not expecting what happened to happen with Justice League.
Yeah. All right. Is that all you got to say?
That's. I mean,
it's a great. Despite us.
I mean, it feels like we've talked about Wonder Woman so much. It felt like, it made the character. It took the most iconic parts of the character. It felt like it had a vision, like how Donner had a vision and Burton had a vision.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, we're gonna copy Nolan.
Yeah.
It felt like this. I hope that this is the one movie that carries over into the new DC Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
All right. So, we're at number one.
Number one.
Our favorite movies of the year. Are you gonna guess mine?
Yes.
Both of ours are probably so obvious.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
I saw yours on social media.
Yeah.
Is your number one It?
Yes. Yeah. My number one favorite movie of 2017 is It. Which, like, horror movies are like, it's like my favorite genre. But I'm super forgiving to horror movies as well. And, like, when I went into this, well, when it was first announced, I was like I had kind of the reservations of like, oh, remakes sometimes, like, suck. Sometimes they're just trying to make money off getting a remake. And then, like, the reviews came in, and they were very positive, and I was like, then I was starting to get excited again, or I was like, oh, the reviews are very positive reviews for a horror movie, which is like, when I see that, it really gets my attention because it's like my favorite genre of film. But even still, like, when I was going in to see it, I was not expecting to see what is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, and part of it is that I love horror, and the other is that they incorporated so many, like, other genres and feelings into that movie that made it feel like so much more than a horror movie. Just the coming-of-age aspect, the just absolutely, like, perfect casting of the kids. Like, just the best child actors cast I personally can think of right now. And like, that movie made me read a book. That's how much I like that movie. I read the whole, like, almost 1,200 page book. Like,
so were you trying to avoid it? Because I'll just say, with we'll just say Batman vs Superman, I knew it was based on The Dark Knight Returns. So even though I've read, I put it away. Like, forget as much as you can, forget as much as you can, forget as much as you can. Even though I knew,
I did have I knew a lot of what happened, but I did have the forget as much as you can moment. But I wasn't like, I didn't care that much about spoilers because I wasn't expecting it to be that good. I wasn't even necessarily expecting to see it in theaters because I was just like, maybe I'll watch it after it comes out. But then someone was like, hey, I'm going to see it, wanna come? And at the last minute I was like, I think I'll go. I like horror movies. And then at the end I was like, there were so many moments in the movie where I was just like, this is amazing. Like, I was just like smiling, like, this is incredible. Which is like not a reaction. I usually am not so in awe at the moment. But this is the movie now that I've seen the most in theaters. I've broken my record, and I've seen it 4 times.
Oh my god!
4 times in theaters. And I think I'm good now. But I'm going to probably get it when it comes out on...
my record is still Toy Story 2. Oh, also, I feel like I need to say this. Because I listen to the shows afterwards.
Yeah.
I said, like, we talked about Toy Story 2 is the movie I've seen the most in theaters.
Yeah.
And you said something like you just loved it that much, and I was just like, it was a sequel to one.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be like, oh, just because it was a sequel. It was a sequel to the one. Like,
yeah.
When people grow up, they have that one Disney movie. Remember, when people our age, there was no Pixar.
Right.
Like, we all just felt a Toy Story as Disney. So everyone growing up has, like, that one Disney movie. Like, for my sister, it's The Little Mermaid. For some people, it's The Lion King. Some people, it's Beauty and the Beast. Some people, it's Aladdin. For me, the one was Toy Story. And the fact that we got a sequel to that, so...
Yeah.
Did you have the one? Growing up, where it's just like, this
like
is the one.
Where it's just like...
Or a Disney one, where it's just like, yeah, I like it, but this is the one.
I mean... Like we talked about in the episode where we talked about our favorite Pixar movies, Monsters, Inc. was one of my favorite movies, but I didn't get one of those for a long time, and it wasn't as good. But
I meant like just like a regular movie. A regular Disney movie growing up.
Like a Disney movie that's like that's the best.
Like when
Disney
you were
movie.
like 5 or something, you were just like, I
like
like all these, but this is the one.
I feel like I don't remember and didn't enjoy probably movies as much back then. Like, it was really probably around when Monsters, Inc. came out that I really... Like, that was my favorite Disney movie after it came out. Toy Story was also one that I, as a kid, remember just absolutely loving. I guess I can also remember The Lion King, but I don't think it was as grand of a thing as you and Toy Story, it sounds like.
So, like, Toy Story is a movie I've watched more times than any other movie ever made.
Yeah.
So, although maybe the first Batman has gotten up there. I know it's between Toy Story, Batman, Batman Begins.
Yeah, I never necessarily watched movies over and over and over again that much when I was very
my
little.
youth, it was watch Toy Story, eject. Remember those video cassette rewinders you could put?
Yeah.
It was put it in, a few seconds later, pop it back in.
Yeah, I didn't quite do that. But, yeah. Yeah, so how many times did you see Toy Story 2 in theaters?
7.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, no, I just I beat my previous record of 3 with 4, so I've seen it 4 times.
For years, it was 6. and they had a double feature like before Toy Story 2. Before Toy Story 3, where you could see the first two. So then it bumped up to 7.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can ever beat that again, but
That's a lot. I even with how much I liked it, I was just like, 4 is good. Like I can, and it's not that long till it comes out on Blu-ray. Like after the last time I saw it, so I was like, soon I'll have it and I can just watch it all the time.
Yes, I feel like so many movies, I just want the Blu-ray like right after it's done. Like, can I just go buy it now?
Yeah, because at this point, it's like I don't want to go. I know the movie well enough to. At a certain point, the best way to watch it when you know something really well is just to pop it in and just like. That's the best. At watch number 5, that's going to be the way I want to watch it.
All right.
And there's going to be a watch number 5 because as soon as I get my hands on it.
You're pumped.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie of the year.
All right. And so, you've done your favorite movie of the year.
I can't imagine that your favorite movie of the year is not Justice League.
Oh my God! You guessed it.
Yeah.
Yes. Justice League is my favorite movie of the year. A movie that has split audiences and is a box office failure, but still.
You said that like it's a movie that has split audiences and is a box office failure.
But still, okay. Here, although I feel like I should say this, movies obviously hit people different ways.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes I gotta start with expectations.
Right.
So, the Rotten Tomatoes score. The day it came out, I was watching Batman vs. Superman, the extended cut. Because when I watch a Batman movie, I want it to go on as long as it's possible.
Yeah.
Was watching it, then I hear the news that Warner Bros. Is not going to release the Rotten Tomatoes score until the day before.
Yeah.
Really, they didn't put it up until a few hours before.
Ah.
So,
yeah.
if you could go on Thursday morning, you couldn't see it. And I feel like sometimes, this is something I feel like should be said for every movie, from DC or Marvel, and especially Star Wars. Sometimes, you have to have realistic expectations. Like, I was just like, look, I have the perfect Justice League with the animated series.
Yeah.
Smallville gave me my perfect live-action Justice League. And then somehow, I had another perfect live animated Justice League with Young Justice. And somehow, the current CW universe with The Flash and Arrow and Supergirl gave me another perfect Justice League.
Yeah.
So, realistically, it's like, what are the chances it can really be to that level?
Right.
So, you gotta walk in with realistic expectations. And I walked in, and I loved the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like, to go through, like, some real quick thoughts on it. We'll have a full Justice League spoiler room, but I felt like, with Batman, this is like the first time in 20 years we've had the classic Batman theaters. Like, think about it. Batman Begins in the Dark Knight with him becoming Batman.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like he becomes Batman until after Rachel dies. Yeah. Batman vs. Superman was the Dark Knight Returns Batman. It's him becoming the guy he once was. He doesn't become Batman until he goes off to save Superman's mom.
Right.
But this one was the classic Batman. This is the Batman who knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, the first scene he was in set it up.
Oh my, I love that first scene.
Yeah.
Then Superman. I've been so Oh, also, I'll just say this.
That's one of my biggest compliments.
I'll just say this real quick. Ben Affleck, he is, in my opinion, the third best actor to ever play Batman. I love what he did with Batman. One of my tests for how you play Batman is, how do you play Batman when you're not in the suit?
Yeah.
That's a test I have. Like, Keaton passed it, Kilmer passed it, and Affleck has passed it. And I would argue this. I don't think he ever played Bruce Wayne in the movie. Except for that one time where he goes to see Aquaman.
Right.
I don't think he ever played Bruce Wayne in the movie.
Well, just Batman.
Yeah. And I felt like, even though it's split the audience, I felt this was such a great way for Affleck to end his run as Batman. Like, we know he's going to be done, and honestly, look, I don't want him to come back if he doesn't want to, because I think there's other great actors, but I feel like this was such a great way to end his run. And look, I hate The Dark Knight Rises, but to compare, I felt like Affleck's run is like the opposite of Bale's run, where if I rank Bale's, it's 2-1-3. Affleck's, it's 3-1-2. If we count Suicide Squad. So, there's that. And, I hated... The thing that was so unforgivable for me about The Dark Knight Rises was Bruce being a jerk and running away at the end.
Yeah.
But is there? This is not a spoiler. I don't think it's in the trailer. Whatever. If you consider, I mean, look, you either saw the movie or you didn't. Most of you didn't, so you don't care. I don't think there's a better way to have a run on Batman end than Commissioner Gordon lighting up the bat signal and Batman going to save the day.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was such a perfect ending.
Yeah. Well, I actually one of my compliments to it, the climax was like one of the most satisfying climactic
I
scenes.
loved the end thing
like,
they went through.
It was this is so uncommon because mostly climaxes are like dun 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 dun, like scary and like there's something horrible happening. Maybe it's like raining profusely. This was like a happy climax.
Yes.
Like it was like a superhero.
I almost felt like this went the Star Wars route where Snyder completed his trilogy story, and if they kept going, they were going to start a new thing.
And also, like, it was the only time Superman ever felt like Superman in all these movies.
Okay, I'll get in there.
Yeah.
I'll get in there. They fixed Superman.
Yeah.
Thank you for fixing Superman. This was the Superman I was hoping for. I mean, he smiles for once.
Yeah.
And I really loved how they went out of their way in the opening. This is spoilers for those of you who don't know. I love how they went out of their way in the spoilers to kind of contradict the previous Superman, where they see how Superman is like this guy who's bringing hope and all that. And they talk about how Superman brought hope. And look, I've not been a fan of Henry Cavill's performance as Superman. I'll be honest. Of the cast members, I thought he's the weakest.
Yeah.
But I felt this was his best performance as Superman. So, and that means a lot, because I didn't like him in Man of Steel. I thought he was a better Clark Kent in Batman vs. Superman. But I thought this was his best as Superman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was great. I really liked, after seeing her in World War I, it was cool to see her like in the modern era. And one of my favorite scenes that sticks out to me so much is when Bruce and Diana are arguing, and you have a little bit of context with Wonder Woman about when Bruce says, "Did Steve Trevor tell you that?" and she gets so mad.
Yeah.
That Wonder Woman was great. I felt like her and Batman were a great kind of leader for this first movie.
Yeah.
Also, Superman's in it more than I thought he would be.
Right.
And let's see, The Flash I thought was great in the movie. It felt like the one from the animated series Flash. I'll be honest, I still prefer Grant Gustin as the Flash, but still, Ezra Miller is a great Flash.
Yeah.
I thought he did the comedy great, and honestly, this felt like seeing Batman the Flash felt kind of like Batman and Robin to me. Like kind of like when you see him kind of. When the Flash doesn't know what to do and Batman's like giving him advice, like save one and all that. To me, that's just like, oh yeah. Well, we got a guy in a red suit. Too bad he doesn't have the green, but still, we're halfway there.
I really liked that take on just a superhero in general. That he's just like, he doesn't know what he's doing so much. It just But it was endearing.
So they had like a challenge because most people would want Grant Gustin. I think that. Personally, I still prefer Grant Gustin. I thought Ezra was great.
Yeah.
Aquaman, they did, I felt, a great job of just not making him be a guy who talks to fish. Especially when it's seen with Mira, kind of does an interesting backstory that makes me want to see the Aquaman movie more.
It was even a running joke.
Cyborg, I felt. I really liked kind of his stuff about how he doesn't know if he's more man or machine. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I asked this earlier. Did you have a problem with him being in Justice League instead of Titans?
No,
I know.
I like seeing. They're
gonna reboot anyway, but we all know eventually he would have been in a Titans movie.
Yeah, I think it's awesome for a Titan to be in Justice League. I like.
So what else I had to say about Justice League? I felt like this was a better crossover. Well, Batman vs Superman, it felt like a great Batman movie, but not so much a crossover. Like clearly, this is the Dark Knight Returns. This is a Batman movie. The crossover stuff wasn't. This felt like because the characters were different, it made the crossover better.
Yeah.
Also, one last thing I want to say before, because this isn't our Justice League show.
Yeah.
We were planning on doing it today, but then Fox had to be bought. The music in the film.
Yeah.
Danny Elfman brought back the Batman theme.
Yeah, that was.
And I'll be honest. They say like in Star Wars, don't go back to expecting to be your childhood. I've said the same thing, but boy. when they played that Batman theme, man, I became 4 years old again.
Yeah.
And I really liked how they updated the Wonder Woman theme, so it didn't like necessarily sound weird, just the electric guitar.
Yeah.
Felt they did a great job with that, and also I really liked bringing back the John Williams Superman theme. In that scene was cool when they're all fighting Superman was cool, but the John Williams Superman theme, having it when he like faces Steppenwolf the last time, having it back really symbolized like Superman's back, like the Superman you care about is back.
Yeah.
Like not just like back. I mean like the last time we had a Superman people liked in the movies was in the 80s, so now we have Superman back again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean the moment where I felt like it's actually Superman for once was when he was carrying the building.
Oh yeah.
His stuff with the Flash was so fun.
Oh yeah.
And was it post credits? It was with him and the Flash.
Yeah, the post credit scene was cool. I really liked seeing that. Plus, the other post credit scene set up a sequel that we'll never see that I would like to have seen.
Yeah.
So yeah, if this felt like a nice kind of look, the Zack Snyder DC universe is over. Like they're going to reboot, but yet it felt like it capped it off so nicely. Like we still have Aquaman, but I'm assuming that will kind of be more of a prequel.
Yeah.
So this felt like it capped it off nicely. So I really love Justice League. I'm trying not to say anything. Oh, the one thing I'll say, Steppenwolf should not have been the villain. It should have been Darkseid. Because they were building up to a villain that you're never going to see. And even the post-credit scene sounds like they're not going to have... The plan wasn't even to have Darkseid in the sequel, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have wanted this Justice League trilogy to kind of go the Nolan route, where we had League of Shadows. Then we had Joker. But then in the third one, it's League of Shadows again. Like...
Yeah.
So, yeah. I really love Justice League, so, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It is. All
number one
movie.
Yeah.
So, if we want to, I had a few quick questions.
All right, and this will be what closes us out. Right.
Now, this is our last show of 2017, right?
Yeah, we'll probably release it that way.
All right, so a few quick questions. Okay, I've got a few, and this will be super quick. All right, we talked about what would be cool for Marvel and DC crossover, which will never happen. And I said Batman and Spider-Man, and you kind of...
I don't remember what I said.
I think you sounded...
Spider-Man...
You know what one... You had two characters I thought are similar but could work together?
What?
Spider-Man and the Flash.
Right, yeah.
So, I didn't say that
good.
last time.
That's good.
But we talked about Batman and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
If you could pick from any actor, live-action actor, who's ever played the character...
Yeah.
Which Batman are you teaming up with which Spider-Man?
So I'm sort of kind of thinking about contrast. I think I kind of did that last time. I don't remember, but so like something that I feel like Tom Holland would kind of funny, like sort of in a funny one, not to overbear humor in this iteration too much too, but I almost feel like the dynamic of Tom Holland being like the youngest seeming Spider-Man of them. That would be kind of an interesting choice compared to like you could almost do a Batman and Robin sort of feeling thing, but with Spider-Man. So that's what's making me lean towards Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Now, for Batman, I can't see Christian Bale being in that role, but it would be kind of I almost can't imagine the further in the past Batman actors playing off of him either, so it kind of almost leaves Ben Affleck. So it'd be the two new ones.
Or David Mazouz, but you're in that weird predicament of Batman's younger than Spider-Man.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah, it would also be interesting to see, like, what I would... Are, like, the classics to me of, like, Michael Keaton and Tobey Maguire, which is just... That's the one that would catch my eye if the names were on there, but... if I was thinking of a more like interesting one, I kind of think I did this last time. One that I actually want more, and one that I'm more intrigued by. So I guess the one I'm more intrigued by would be Ben Affleck and Tom Holland. But yeah,
So I would say Ben Affleck, and I would say, okay, I would say I'm leaning against Andrew or Tom. I feel like they both would be great with Ben Affleck.
yeah,
Maybe to be different, I'll say Andrew Garfield and Ben Affleck.
yeah.
But the one I would love to see is obviously Keaton and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of the same thing.
Next, we're gonna charge this so it don't die. Like
Yeah, we
life
can
support.
do that with this one.
Yes,
we
we
don't just
can.
have to drain the batteries to death on both.
All right,
Okay.
so we have had now. Get rid of that percentage. We don't need that no more. Okay, we have had now 2 movies with Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can. I'm going to give you a bunch of eras of Batman and Superman, and you can choose which one crosses over.
Oh, so I'm choosing a Batman and choosing a Superman.
I'll give you the era. Okay.
Okay.
You can have Adam West and George Reeves, Michael Keaton and Christopher Reeve, Val Kilmer and Dean Cain, Christian Bale and Tom Welling, or still Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. No, we'll forget Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill.
Gonna have to go with Michael Keaton and Christopher Reeves.
Yes. So, yeah, that's one I would choose. And you know what's a shame? There's a movie that they are in together.
Oh, really?
And they play off each other so well.
But
and you're
not-
just
yeah.
like, oh, if only you had them wearing the suits. So, yeah, that would have been so cool to see. All right. Controversial one.
Oh.
Now, you've seen Batman vs. Superman.
Yep.
Okay. I have a controversial opinion. And I'm just going to ask you it.
Okay.
Should Warner Brothers have said that Batman Begins and The Dark Knight are canon to the current DCEU, and that goes Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Batman vs. Superman, and the rest of them?
So they... Okay, so...
So there's
I actually... Yeah, okay. Yes, because I didn't care for the sort of weird, like, rushed flashback origin story in Batman vs. Superman. So it's kind of a simple answer for me, I guess.
I feel like Dark Knight feels like it could lead into Batman vs. Superman so much. Like, you can understand, after watching
Yeah.
that, you can see 20 years later how he becomes that. Like, even
Yeah.
like, when he's talking to Alfred about, like, how many good guys are left and how many stayed that way. He's talking about Two-Face.
Yeah.
And he's also talking about Jason Todd's Robin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, the whole film series, like, the Zack Snyder versions were clearly supposed to, like, copy the Nolan style. So, if you're going to copy it, why not?
Yeah.
I personally feel like The Dark Knight Rises was only made so that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, it was only... They wrote it into a corner where you couldn't continue.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be... I would like that continuation.
I mean, when I watched the DCU, I saw Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
All right. So, you've now seen Spider-Man Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe version of Spider-Man.
Yep.
Now, if you had the choice, would you still had the Tom Holland and this upcoming reboot Spider-Man, this upcoming reboot X-Men, into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or would you have brought over Tobey Maguire and like Hugh Jackman and those X-Men into the MCU?
So the old X-Men and Spider-Man into the current MCU,
Yeah,
or all the new stuff.
or the rebooted versions.
I think that because I did like Spider-Man Homecoming, that makes my answer, and because, like I said, I don't care about X-Men as much as other Marvel IPs, I think I would like the new ones. You reboot X-Men, and get the same Spider-Man. So, I think that's what I like.
Here's another. If they could have made it happen, like starting from 2008, if they could have used Spider-Man and X-Men, do you think they would have used the same actors? So we're going back to 2008. Would they still use the same actors of Spider-Man, the X-Men?
Like, if they were making a crossover?
Like they knew
like,
we're going, and we are able to use those characters. It's not like how it is now.
Yeah.
Like where you had to wait a while. If they could go right away, would they have used those same actors, do you think? I'm going to say yes, I do think they would.
I kind of leaning yes, but it's like, I so rarely see... I mean, X-Men is like the only one where they have lasted a long time. Well, Hugh Jackman. But,
I mean, they could have always just recast the character later.
Yeah. It's not often you see actors staying in the role for more than like 3, 4 movies. But yeah, I guess I think I would lean towards that they would use both of those.
All right. That's what I think they would have done.
Yeah.
All right. Our final question. Our fun question.
Ooh, fun.
I've been wanting to ask this for a while. Because I know how much you love crossovers. I know how much you love having...
I'm just weary about it.
I know how much you loved having Iron Man and Spider-Man Homecoming. I know how much you're excited that there's going to be another Avenger in the Spider-Man sequel.
Absolutely.
Here's what's going to happen. Here's what you can do.
Okay.
I know how much you love Pixar.
Yes.
We're going to have a Pixar Avengers.
Oh, Pixar Avengers.
Now, just like the Avengers, you can choose one character from 4 movies. And just like that, from one of the 4 movies, you can pick a 5th and 6th member. So, like, if you choose Monsters, Inc., if you want, you can choose, like, Sully, but one of your 2 also choices, you could choose Mike from Monsters, Inc.
Okay.
So you can only choose 4 movies and 6 characters.
Okay.
Pixar Avengers.
So, let me get into this. Okay, I got this. This is easy. Buzz Lightyear.
All right.
Okay, let me think.
Did you want a list of Pixar movies?
I mean, that would definitely help me think of it faster, but... Remy the Rat. No, I don't know. I thought that... I said that as a joke, but that's kind of cool. It would be funny if it was like the Avengers. They're using slightly less known superheroes. You get all these like the Pixar characters you don't even remember.
You have
you just get your Fear from Inside Out. So not like that obscure, but like
well, what's one from Toy Story you could use? The shark and
yeah. Yeah, I gotta see this list. I care about this answer a lot.
You are.
I have some ideas, but I don't want to say it out loud before I know for sure.
Here it is.
All right, I got this. It's kind of confusing what do I do with Finding Nemo, so I think I might just exclude that. Okay. This is getting easier and easier as I'm looking at it. Just a knockout. Okay. Buzz Lightyear.
All right.
Mike and Sully.
All right.
How many more do I have?
You have 2 more movies.
1 each.
1 each plus another one from a previous movie. From a movie that you choose.
All right.
So you have Buzz, Mike, and Sully.
Okay. Elastigirl.
Elastigirl?
I am choosing Remy the Rat.
Remy the Rat.
I'm sticking to it.
Okay, so now you can have one more character,
He's
but it
like
has to
the
be
Rocket Raccoon.
But it has to be one of the previous movies.
Can it be from Toy Story?
Yeah.
Woody.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Your Avengers, your Pixar Avengers. You have Buzz and Woody,
Mike
and Sully, Remy the Rat, Elastigirl.
Yeah.
Just imagine, like, they're all looking up and it pans around and you see all of them.
I just imagine Remy the Rat always being on
The
someone's
villains
shoulder.
are the cars from Cars. Yes.
No, the villain is just Lightning McQueen
Yes.
as a villain.
And
He has a
and-
mustache.
And as he goes down, he goes ka-chow, ka-chow.
That's a good callback to a different podcast.
Yes.
Unwanted answers.
And then like Buzz Lightyear or something just like grabs, or maybe Sully. Sully grabs Lightning McQueen, just smashes him around.
Oh, what if we were actually being serious and what would be the ultimate villain of all Pixar? What would it be? Because I'm trying to like who's the most grand scheme villain?
Okay, so we had Sid.
Because that's a pretty good. Well, actually, what was the toy villain's name in the first Toy Story? The
Toy villain. You mean the second one?
Oh, that was the second one. Yeah, what was the villain in the second?
Prospector.
Who was the guy who said who was like Vader and he said the Vader?
Zurg.
Yeah, Zurg. I was trying. Wasn't he? Was he like just a minor villain? I forgot how he was. In the
I feel
movie.
like he was like a smaller character.
Yeah.
But then remember the Buzz Lightyear TV show? He was like the main villain.
Yeah, he's like supposed to be Buzz Lightyear's
arch
villain,
enemy,
but in like the pretend Buzz Lightyear canon. So yeah, A Bug's Life.
The cockroach or whatever it was.
That's one that I don't remember.
I don't remember Bug's Life at all. Let's see, Monsters Inc. Who was?
I don't remember the
guy
name,
who changes the color.
but that's a good contender to me.
There wasn't a villain Finding Nemo, was there?
It was just sort of fighting against
the sharks are closest.
It's sort of like the in a lot of movies, if there's like a non-human villain, they have a human villain. Of course, it's a fish.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a thing. I feel like the sharks are kind of the human villain, the archetype that would kind of be in it, and the abstract idea of being captured at a dentist office is the villain.
The dentist's niece is the villain. Yes.
Yeah.
The Incredibles, the fanboy.
That's good. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's actually. It's probably my runner. That's probably.
I don't think Cars had a villain.
I don't know. He was like there's someone who wanted to beat, wasn't there?
I think so. Who had Dinoco? Ratatouille.
Don't remember.
I don't think there was a bad guy. I haven't seen Wall-E.
That's sort of an abstract, like sort of a weird, like they're not necessarily having a villain. Like Up is the guy with the did he have a mustache? Yeah, he had like a big mustache, didn't he?
Is that? I don't know. Up, the villain is Death.
Oh, right, that's true.
So
that's
I don't remember Up.
No, it has a villain. It's the guy with the plane.
Isn't that Meet the Robinson?
There's a guy with a plane, and he's like balding with a mustache. He looks like an archetype of an explorer.
Oh, I don't remember. Toy Story 3, it
Great
was
one.
Lotso, Hug and Bear.
That's like my favorite villain.
Cars 2, everyone involved.
Yeah.
Brave.
The writers.
Yes.
I've not seen Brave, but
Monsters. Was there a bad guy in Monsters University? I have only
there might have
watched
been
it
like
once.
bullyish characters. I don't.
There wasn't a villain in Inside Out, right? It was. Was there? I think it was just the little girl's depression.
Yeah, depression. That's a good alternate villain.
Yes. The Good Dinosaur.
The writers. No.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
I'll use that joke again. No.
There was no villain Finding Dory, right?
I don't know. Maybe we just don't remember anything.
Cars 3, John Lasseter.
And I wish I've seen Coco.
I know.
Definitely The Incredibles film. What's his name again?
I can look it up.
It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Let's see.
I don't know why I'm not remembering any of this stuff.
Let's see. It was voiced by Jason Lee as Buddy Pine in Crediboy. Syndrome?
Syndrome, yeah.
Oh no!
Well, we're almost done with this episode.
Yes.
We ran out of footage aspect.
I know. This is not a problem people have anymore.
Yeah.
People think that you run out of, tape film? No.
It's funny, you are filming this on both HD and standard definition, and it looks like you bought and not rented. No, your Tommy was out for this. Alright. Yeah, that's got it.
We'll just hope this is recording still.
That's my Avengers Pixar movie. So, I guess you didn't say, do you have your Pixar Avengers?
I know Buzz and Woody, Mike and Sully.
Alright, so you basically just got two different than me.
Let's see.
Maybe.
Don't want anyone from Bug's Life, because I don't remember it. Maybe. You know, what? I will go Mr. Incredible as one,
All right.
and then you know what? I will go Dory.
She's in a bag the whole time.
Yes. She's like
That's funny.
But no, Buzz Lightyear has her in that like pouch thing filled
yeah.
with water.
Oh yeah, and he would be small too, so it would be kind of
Yes.
yeah. But we kind of have similar ones then if you think about it.
And
because-
then for my villain, it is, as I said earlier, everyone from Cars. It is who is the word? You know what? Mater. Lightning McQueen is God, what is his name? Lightning McQueen is Loki, and Maynard is Thanos. He is the big bad that will destroy everyone. How you doing, little buddy? And he's just attacking everyone
comes
with
out
his
of a
hook.
portal gate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then once all the cars die, the world cheers and they get a celebration.
It's finally over.
Yes.
It's finally over.
Oh boy,
Well,
there we
that's-
go.
Well,
Oh,
uh-oh.
I just thought of
Uh-oh, what?
Pixar makes a deal with Disney Animation, just like Marvel with Sony.
Yeah.
You can now choose someone from the Disney canon to join your Avengers, just like Spider-Man. Who's from the Disney canon? Who are you gonna choose?
I
will choose the genie from Aladdin.
Oh, you're talking. I was still thinking Pixar.
No, we are like
yeah, all of
different
Disney.
studio.
All of Disney. That's a good choice.
That's gonna be a long.
I'm gonna
list.
have a bias towards that choice after hearing it.
You want me to bring up a list of Disney films?
Mulan. I was trying to think of someone with more like a superpower-ish twist to them, but I fell short.
So for me, it's almost like if there's like a civil war between Woody and Buzz, and Buzz is just like, all right, I've had enough of this. Blue Underoos, and then Genie pops up and goes, "Hi everyone, how you doing?" So here it is, your Disney animation canon.
Okay. Bambi. No.
Bambi's mom.
Oh,
This will
the
be a
hunter.
small role.
The hunter.
Yes.
Oh, no. Interesting. So,
You were not expecting
I
that,
am
were you?
not.
That's like out of nowhere. Just like how we never expected to see Spider-Man. Why am I even looking at the camera anymore?
Jack Skellington. That's one on here, although I didn't really consider it. I don't know. For some reason, it doesn't feel like a Disney movie to me, but I don't know the history of that movie exactly. But
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
yeah, well, yeah, I guess I wouldn't have even remembered that it was Disney.
Oh yeah,
It's probably just produced by them. I don't know.
that's a Tim Burton baby.
It's actually directed. It was not directed by Tim Burton. That's actually a common misconception. I do know that much about it.
Oh my god,
Let me find it.
I feel lied to now.
It's but it's also known as Tim Burton's. But no, it is.
That's why
it is.
you feel like that.
It's produced by Henry Selick. He is like the stop motion king. I think this is who I'm thinking of. Yeah, he also did James and the Giant Peach, Coraline.
I always mean to watch that.
Coraline
What's that
is
one
great.
movie that everyone talks about so good? It was stop motion. It came out last year that I always mean to watch.
Last year.
God.
You
know what I'm talking about?
There's that the company that made Coraline
It's
is
one
kind of
that
the
everyone
current-
loved, and I don't remember what it was
okay,
called.
okay. Because hopefully this is what I'm thinking of. Kubo and the Two Strings?
Yes.
Yeah, because this company, Leica, to me, they're like kind of the big stop motion company right now. They had Coraline, Paranorman, the Box Trolls, which didn't do as well, and then Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, they have another Untitled film coming out in 2018.
Yeah, they're kind of who's doing stop motion right now.
They are the new
So-
Rankin Bass.
Yeah.
I would love clay motion claymation where you can see the fingerprints.
Yeah, that's always.
So who was your Disney character?
I just completely forgot. I was. I still felt like Mulan was the coolest answer.
Mulan?
Yeah, I don't know why.
So there it is.
I felt like I didn't learn anything. I was just like, oh, that's a Disney film. That's all I learned. But we have no idea how long this one is. But
well, I wonder if I can click and find out.
Oh, I think you just have to. But boy, I would bet it's long.
Oh,
that might only mean 1 hour, because sometimes it's weird like that. I know that.
It could.
Well,
but my God, how many episodes have we done today?
4.
4.
Yep.
So you guys waited a long time. It took a while to get a new episode, and yet here they are, the masterworks.
Anything you're hearing past this, episode 14, whatever it might be, 2018.
Yes. Oh my God. Happy New Year, everyone. Soon.
Yep. It's still a while for us. Well, a couple weeks.
Yes. We are. It's time travel almost. We are going to the future, and we are excited and scared.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, okay. Last question. This is how we can end it.
Okay.
So, we've talked about DC, future DC being uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think we'll hear? Because the DCU is dead. If there's no way they're gonna make that Shazam movie, they had to focus on the Trinity.
Yeah.
So 101.2 comes out in 2019. When do you think we'll hear about the reboot? And I think that once we hear about the reboot, we're going to find out who the new Batman is. Did you hear the rumor of the new Batman?
Who?
The rumor, and remember, Asa Butterfield was rumored to be the new Spider-Man. And everyone thought it was going to be, but then it turned out to be Tom Holland.
Yeah.
The rumor is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh. Interesting.
Which, also interesting how he's, significantly younger than Affleck.
Yeah.
So, here's a weird thing to think about. If he were to become Batman, he was in love with the Joker.
Oh. Wow.
And you want to know something else?
What?
The Joker then killed his sister.
Oh my God. He's so connected.
Yes. You know what the creepiest part is?
What?
In another movie, Batman was in love with his sister.
Oh, there's a is it Chris? You're saying Christian Bale?
Yeah.
And Maggie
Gyllenhaal.
So but that was also what it was in Batman, though.
In what?
Wait, you're saying Christian Bale and Maggie Gyllenhaal had a non-Batman movie where they?
No, I mean I'm just saying Jake Gyllenhaal could play a role. Previous franchise.
I see what you're saying.
His sister was a love interest.
I see what you're saying.
And she drove Batman to cry for 8 years.
Yeah.
Less said that, the better. So, Jake Gyllenhaal could be Batman. You'll never look at Brokeback Mountain the same way again. It's when Joker kills his sister.
It's an improvement on all fronts to me. I would love to look at it that way.
You're just man, the Joker's really mad.
Yeah.
You want to know how I got these scars? Now we know his origin story.
But now do you want to know how I got these emotional scars? Watch Brokeback Mountain.
And then he just sits down, guys, let me tell you about it. And then you just watch. That could be the new opening for Brokeback Mountain. What happened?
Yeah, just a talking head of the Joker.
Yes. All right. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal could be the next Batman. Rumored.
My initial reactions are I like that, but
to be fair, I've not seen Jake Gyllenhaal in anything. Yeah. And I did learn this. I feel like sometimes like a grandma when I hear this news because it doesn't happen. It's so rare for this to happen to me. But there are two celebrities I always confuse each other with.
Oh.
And it's Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
So I constantly confuse them.
Yeah. I remember who Jake Gyllenhaal is well because probably 7 or 8 years ago at this point, the movie Donnie Darko was my favorite movie, but I haven't seen it in a long time, and I forget it exists now, so it's not anymore. But I did like it a lot at a time, and he's Donnie Darko in it. So,
So, back to our last question, because why not drag this out? Okay.
Absolutely.
When do you think? So I'm assuming that we're gonna find out about DC rebooting everything except Wonder Woman, and who the next Batman is at the same time. Because it feels like, look, we've gone through this crap for a year about Affleck not being Batman anymore.
Yeah.
So they should know who the next Batman is gonna be. So, well, they should at least be looking.
Yeah.
So, 2018. When do you think we'll find out that DC is rebooting and the new Batman actor? Because I feel they're going to be on the same day. Do you think that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's like a way to show, hey, this is a new era.
Yeah.
And obviously Wonder Woman's going to be a test. If it makes more, they'll continue. If not, they'll reboot.
So, but you're saying you think it'll be in 2018 that they announce it? But,
yes. So when do you think? I'm going to go...
I just have a slight thought about this, that maybe they'll wait till reactions of, not to make decisions, but wait till maybe soon after Aquaman. But
oh no.
When does Aquaman come out?
A year from now.
Oh, it's December. I thought it was like
Oh, no,
April.
it's December.
No, not that then. I was thinking like April. Like I was thinking around that time.
And I think, let's just say, I think Aquaman's going to lose money.
Yeah,
no one's going to see Aquaman.
But that's part of the reason why I was saying, I thought it was since I thought it was coming out like earlier in the first half of the year, and I thought like it, given Justice League, it probably won't do that well, so that's why I was thinking around that time, but I was wrong about the time, so I think first half of the year, though.
I'm going to guess, we're in December right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess February. Early February.
Pretty soon.
Around Valentine's Day, I think we're going to find out that they're going to reboot. Because I think they're going to... Maybe they'll try to get a little more money out of Justice League in theaters. But I don't think they're going to wait until after the Blu-ray. I think they're going to... Well, that could be a time for it to come out, right? On Blu-ray, February?
Yeah.
So...
sometimes it's... Well, yeah. 4 months.
I mean,
usually,
the Amazing Spider-Man 2 announcement happened a while, but still, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 did not lose money.
Yeah.
It just didn't make a lot.
Yeah.
So, I'm guessing February.
Yeah, I'll be looking out for it then.
That could be.
We'll see if you're right. If there's like an announcement on Valentine's Day that this happens, I mean it's like your crazy prediction with Spider-Man: Homecoming that.
I hope.
I mean, this would be a much crazier prediction. Well, it would be a much more coincidental one if it was on a particular time of the exact month.
We will find out February 15th at 2:00.
And you think it's
2
going to be
p.m.
day after Valentine's Day? Is that that's
February
your guess?
15th at 2 p.m. The news will break.
All right, we'll see what happens.
We'll see
when that day comes and goes. Whatever news is out, this is the podcast for it.
Yes,
because news.
Watch it be. We find out tomorrow.
That would be funny, and it would be a little unfortunate because that would probably be another thing we would have talked about. But
yes,
you'll have to wait for it. But yeah, that rabbit hole once again.
It got us, and it got us good.
Yeah, we made up for it so much from the first episode. The first episode,
it was nice and quick, and we were just going rapid fire.
Yeah,
it did. And now, I don't even know how much of this episode is rabbit hole.
Yeah,
it feels like almost all of it.
I mean, we did stay like on the topic of what we were talking about, but there are some movies we talked about longer than others. So
talking about Spider-Man: Homecoming and Justice League, and guess what? Still, there will be a whole episode dedicated as long as between recording we don't find out that DC is going to reboot.
Yeah. So, comment section.
Yes. And remember, one more year until we get to see the Christmas EU.
I can't wait till the Christmas
A
EU.
callback to another show that you all should be listening to.
Unwanted Answers, that's another podcast.
Yes.
Check it out.
Yes.
But this is comment section.
Yes.
And you know what we always do. And what the listeners should do.
Yes. Keep falling down that rabbit hole.